This is God Off Topic.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jason.
I'm Misha. We talk about everything from Disney movies
To blowjobs.
And everything in between. Hopefully we don't offend.
We probably will.
This is
God Off Topic.
We're back. Cheers.
Everybody.
Cheers, guys.
We're back. Nisha's back with us now.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Nisha. We missed you.
I missed y'all so much.
You're back. We're bad. You're black. We're mad.
What?
A lethal weapon.
No, well, yes, and we've moved on from Me Too, so sorry, Nisha. You
About
missed
time.
that one.
I heard it. It's fine. It's fine.
You heard what?
I heard the episode.
Oh, okay.
Everything y'all had to say about me.
So
too.
you're a listener when you're not.
I listened to all of them.
Oh.
Oh,
I was wondering that when you would actually listen.
Got to hear y'all's hard work.
Because I would, if I wasn't on it, I don't think I'd listen. Well, I wouldn't want the show to be recorded.
I just had to see how Diane was doing in my absence. Make sure y'all weren't talking about me too much.
Today's topic: what do you miss most about being a kid?
Cool haircut.
Okay. Well, next topic. Don't blow your load too early. Technically not profanity.
That will be our topic. I actually miss Saturday morning cartoons. But we're going to get back to this topic. Yeah. We're actually going to start off with our Oddball News, one of our more popular segments on the show.
It's my favorite.
It is
Mine
fun.
too.
Niche, as you're back now, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure, I can go first. I feel like it's been a while since I've done one that hasn't sucked, so.
How are you? Craig, you have Cluck. That's the best one of all
I
time.
forever have Cluck.
The story of Cluck and his asshole.
Yours are great.
Oh, I hope he's doing well.
I'm sure
Maybe we
he
need
is.
another follow-up on that.
I wonder if we can get another follow-up, figure out.
We should just call the place.
Nice family.
Hey, we did a news story on him.
Can we get an update
We just
on
want to know how.
please?
Can we put him on the phone? I'd like to interview him.
Can we talk to him for a second?
I would actually like some T-shirts from the clinic that he was at, or a sticker.
Yeah.
You know, something.
We should just make Cluck shirts ourselves.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Put his little
Maybe
tiny
on
face
our
on it.
on our upcoming merchandise, we'll have some reference to Cluck on there.
That would
Maybe just put a little picture of a
Little kitten.
Yeah,
I would wear that shirt so hard.
Well, I'm thinking like we got our logo, and then in the bottom corner there's a little cat anus. I don't know how you draw that, but we can come up with that.
I don't think anybody would know. Well, I guess if you
yes,
put
they
the
would.
tail on
Our
the
fans would know
legs
that, and they would be looking. That's not original. That's not authentic. There's no
The
anus
circle
next
could
to
be
it.
an anus, and it's just a god off topic. And underneath, save Cluck. Yes.
Cluck you.
Cluck,
Too
yeah.
Hello, cat. I'm
All
not
right,
a cat
so-
person, and I love that cat, and I've never even met him.
I love cats and
Or
dogs.
her. Was it a girl? I already forgot. See.
I think it was a her.
I think
Yeah,
it was a she.
I think it was a girl too. All right, so getting into it, my my story is from 2012, a little old, going back in the archives, and the headline is "Female lawyer who stands just 3 feet 8 inches in court sues witness who had laughed hysterically at her and started singing hi-ho."
What is it about?
Oh my God!
What it is about this podcast and little
midgets.
people? Jesus, that's the
They're
third
just the
news story
funniest.
now.
I don't know. They're just the funniest. I actually haven't
that's
read.
true.
I actually haven't read this story, so it may very well not be funny overall. But I feel like if you,
Really selling it.
I don't like to make people's expectations too high,
I got you.
just in case. You never know. Okay,
You never know.
a dwarf. Proper term is dwarf. That's what they like.
Dwarf. I think we use dwarf on most of the.
I think so too.
Yeah.
A dwarf prosecutor is suing a man she called as a witness in a court case after he broke down laughing in court at her size. Oh no, here's the name. Hold on. Silky Schonfleisch.
What's up with the names in these stories too?
39 is a little lady with a big name and an even greater sense of right and wrong. She may stand only 3 feet 8, but Ms. Schonfleisch
Sister of Ode.
It's so hard.
It's a small family, but they're all over the news.
I lost my spot. Okay. But when she punches well above her legal weight, as many villains in Frankfurt, she's from Frankfurt, have found to their cost. When Russian-German Vadim Golunev 25, cracked up in hysterics at the dwarf lady in court during a case about theft, she was decidedly unimpressed. He was unable to answer her questions due to hysterical laughter, pointing at her and singing "Hi-ho, hi-ho" from Snow White at the seven doors.
So messed up.
No one else joined in.
Russian Germans are so rude to dwarfs.
He was handed a summons accusing him of obscene insults and in order to appear before a judge next month. She has the lawyer has the nickname Powerfrau. Mighty woman is what that means. She decided to become a lawyer after failing to get into med school because the dwarfism hindered her growth. And she immediately set about suing the health ministry for refusing her entry. This is a quote from her. "What's big for me is not the physical measurements of the body, but what's big inside you," she said. All right. She's been a prosecutor for 8 years, business law.
I think that's kind of how we feel about
So she's a lawyer.
She's a lawyer, yeah.
So they made fun of the wrong dwarf.
Yeah,
I will sue you.
Yeah, now she's she's suing. She's suing back. I don't think there's anything else in here we're saying, but that was pretty funny. I would love to see that. I would feel horrible.
I think it'd make a great, like Perry Mason, those type of
Law and Order.
Yeah, those type of shows.
I'd watch that.
Except it'd be like a high pitch.
Yeah.
Wear like these colorful clothes and stuff. There'd be a yellow brick road that led to the
Powerfrau.
Powerfrau. What is that? What?
See, look, we're no better than that story right there.
Nope.
You know,
That's true. No. You're not wrong. Mike?
Or since it's German, you said Powerfrau. Is it pronounced Pulverfrau? All W's are B's, right? Anyway, Mike, what you got?
All right, Nish, your story was from Germany. Mm-hmm. Our second most popular podcast, Oddball News Story, which was the balcony. That one is Germany.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They got some crazy things happening.
My story on this piece of paper right here is German. I don't know what it is about those crazy Germans.
Is it written in German? That would be pretty funny.
Yeah, that would be
Das
funny.
links uns at. I don't know what I'm saying.
Ooh, that'd be
it's
crazy.
just the whole us trying to figure out how to speak other languages.
So between Florida, California, and Germany, we have our Oddball News covered. All right, here's mine. Headline: German social network seeks prostitute tester. A social media company catering to Germany's adult industry is creating a new position, a sexual position. Kaufmich.com, if I didn't say that wrong, which means buy me in German, has just announced it is hiring a full-time prostitute tester. A willingness to lie down on the job as a requirement. That's good. You already see this ad on Craigslist. The man or woman chosen will review brothels in Germany, emphasizing services, cleanliness, and compliance with safe sex practices.
You gotta have that.
Good, yeah.
Doing this requires having sex with sex workers. That's fine. I would hope. That's the only way you can review, right?
Yeah.
So it says having a brothel in Germany is totally legal, but so far there is not a quality system for them in place. And this company wants to be the TripAdvisor for brothels.
Dream big.
They say clients should be able to check the quality of brothels before they go. Mm-hmm. Well, I get that.
Yeah, you need to read the ratings, how many stars they have.
Besides scoring tips for carnal customers, the ideal candidate should enjoy having fun with people and not be afraid of contact. They want the people that are applying for this tester position to have a business degree, a full health certificate, and the ability to be a cunning linguist when it comes to speaking French.
You gotta learn to roll your R's to do that.
That would help too.
French R's come from the throat, man.
Oh.
Or are you talking about the cunning linguist?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess if you put your throat there.
They said there have been 150 applicants so far.
Wow.
Wait, I have a quick question. What does the business degree have anything to do?
I don't know.
It's like any job nowadays that you have to have
someone who's got a business degree is a little. They just don't want somebody off the street that just wants to, bang people and give them reviews.
More high class,
maybe,
quote unquote.
Maybe.
Top of the pay scale. Classy people. Okay, go ahead.
Mostly 150 applicants so far. Most of them from Germany, but some from Belgium, Netherlands, and Great Britain. I didn't see any from the U.S. I never saw this ad, or I probably would have, Now, depending
Checked
on
it out.
when this, I said 2009 was when
Got a fake degree.
When this company, yeah, I'll come up with something. 2009 was when the company was founded by three brothers seeking to improve Germany's sex industry by creating a market for independent prostitutes.
Good for them.
Which is fine.
That's a.
They said, our vision is to see sex work as an equal and fully acceptable part of society. We believe that all kinds of problems arise from sex workers when they're isolated and judged. Well, that's actually pretty true.
Yeah, I could see that.
They're still taking applications.
That is an interesting story.
Kaufmich.com.
How do you spell that for our listeners?
Kaufmich.
We should see if they have an American brand.
.com. Wanting to be the TripAdvisor of brothels.
I see a lot of brothels in the U.S.
No, not
mostly because of the illegality of it, but
yeah, unfortunately, I mean, Nevada, and I'm sure a bunch of backdoor brothels all over the place, but
never been in a backdoor.
I haven't either. I don't know what actually. I called it that, but I don't know what that would actually mean. Would it mean backdoor or backdoor?
I don't know, but it doesn't seem sanitary.
It's probably not sanitary either way. And back page. Would it be listed on back page? Probably. Everything's back that's bad. Everything bad start with back.
Is that an ad for Cluck? Oh, no, it's a backdoor brothel.
No. It is now.
It's a picture of an anus.
You can't be too sure these days. You have to
an anus
research.
with like a roof.
So from one Germany story to another,
We like the German stories up in here.
We do. We'll
Shout
see
out
what,
to our German friends.
what continues.
Touche.
That's French. I don't know.
Not it's.
Well, I think the French have prostitutes too. Doesn't everybody have prostitutes? Really? I mean,
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
So
it'd be hard to not imagine that everybody had prostitutes.
No.
All right, that was fun.
Our topic: what do you miss most about being a kid? And it's funny. I'll let y'all go, but it's funny because me having a kid, I see a lot of this now, and I'm like, yeah, I was like that once, and now being the adult or the parent and having to do a lot of the stuff kind of behind the scenes that my daughter doesn't know about, which I was oblivious to as a kid. I'm sure we all were. Now I just see it differently. Like, wow, my parents really were doing a lot of shit, back then that I just kind of took for granted. You don't think about as a kid.
Right.
So I have a different perspective on that as I used to. But yeah, what do you miss most about being a kid, Nish?
Most things.
Yeah, like everything.
Like everything.
Yeah. What don't I?
What don't I miss?
The next topic will be what don't you miss about being a child?
Off the top of my head, I miss the creativity that comes naturally as being a kid. Like, you could find something to do with anything. Mm-hmm. We didn't get a lot of toys when we were young, so we just, we were always outside, we were always running around. My tan was amazing as a kid, and I was in the best shape of my life when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, that is true about kids.
So, yeah, you're always running around. You never get tired when you're running. You just keep going forever because you don't know what it is. And bikes and roller skating and basketball in the street, football in the street, tackle football.
Yeah.
On the dirt with stickers everywhere, and it didn't even faze you.
I felt like there were a lot more stickers as a kid too. Did those go away, or those get kind of? Maybe all the weed and feed nowadays kills those out. But I remember stickers all over the place.
Well, y'all have
stickers. Yeah,
you're talking about actual stickers.
Y'all have the green ones over here in Central Texas.
Yeah,
we had these monster brown ones in West Texas.
Like the round ones looked like a fucking meteorite, little meteorite.
Yeah, like the pointy ones. Yeah, no, those. I had a lot of my family's from Minnesota, and an uncle came down one year when he was young. He was probably in his early 20s at the time. Mm-hmm. He's 13 years older than me or so. He came down to visit, and he decided to walk outside with his socks on.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you could do that in Minnesota, and his socks got stapled to his feet like that. We had to sit there with tweezers because you can pull them out, but they don't always come completely out. Just I fell into a cactus one time, or a field of cactuses, cacti, and again we had to sit there. I had to be carried inside on my stomach, laid on my stomach, and just sat there for hours with tweezers. People were pulling needles out of my back. I miss that about me. Your pain tolerance was a lot higher.
That's true.
You're right. Your pain tolerance.
I have
you
scars.
get hurt and you're like, I just want to go back out and play some
Yeah,
more.
I have scars on top of scars on top of scars on my knees because we played hard when we were little.
And I think we all probably played a lot more out there. We didn't have a lot of the stuff that kids have nowadays to keep you entertained inside. We had to go outside. We were riding bikes and causing all sorts of hell outside.
We actually had to pedal our big wheels. It wasn't fucking electronic.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't have video games.
Flintstone shit.
I mean, geez, you had to go keep yourself entertained, and it was usually outside or doing some kind of activity.
So that's the biggest. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me: the creativity, the openness to just go and do whatever, and you'd figure out quickly a way to have fun with it. Because now I've very much fallen into this whole TV, computer, internet, everything, and so I feel extremely lazy, and I can't if it's not something that I'm used to doing, I can't easily find a way to enjoy it. So it'll take time. Like, I like going hiking. I don't do it very often because I'm lazy, and it's you go outside and mosquitoes drive me insane, and I don't know, it's just physical energy and shit. I make myself sound worse than I feel like I am. But as a kid, I would jump at the chance. Yes, let's go do something. Anything outside. Let's just go outside. On all the sports I played, I don't play sports anymore. I jump off one of those little parking bumpers in a parking lot. Yeah. And I feel like I'm going to tear a fucking ACL. I'm so out of shape. Like, you feel it in your knees just doing a little hop. And as a kid, I would jump off of my house all the time. We would just ride onto the ground, concrete ground, and it was just like, whatever. Didn't faze you. We were into inline skating for a while, and we thought we wanted to go do X Games and stuff. And so there was an elementary school not too far, like a couple blocks from where I grew up, and we would always go do really stupid shit and tried grinding. None of us were good at that. But then there was a set of stairs. It was 15 stairs high, and we all decided to just run and it was probably from me to that wall. There was a wall there at the end of this 15. And so we would just run and jump over these stairs. First of all, you had to go fast enough to clear the stairs, but then you would just slam into the wall because you had no time to slow down. And we did it multiple times, and it hurt every single time. But we were young and stupid. Yep. And I just miss that. The carefree.
Yes.
Everything. I miss that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I would say. I miss the total lack of responsibility.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything, especially in the summer. You do anything. You just wake up and play until you're fucking exhausted.
Yep.
The end before the streetlights come on.
Yeah. Even in school, I mean, it's more responsible, but I never really took it as seriously as I should have, so I never felt obligated to do anything.
In school.
I just,
School's fine. I did it because I acted like I was very active. Well, in high school, I wasn't as active as I was when I was little, and so I didn't really have a social life outside because I did homework. I actually did my homework, and I played softball. Dog squeaked.
It's funny how you look at homework in school, and back then you may have been like, oh, man, but nowadays you're like, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a 6-year-old nephew, and I saw his homework sitting on the counter last weekend. And I was like, I could just knock that out for him real quick. It's bad. Don't do that.
Let me just take care of your
homework. Don't do that for your 6-year-old nephews. But it looked so easy. Just letters.
Just letters.
It's just letters.
Letters and simple addition.
Yeah. 2
math.
+ 2.
Yeah, making sentences or word. I mean, it's at that age, that's practically what all it is. Mm-hmm. But they don't like it. No.
Well, I remember not liking it either. My sister's complaining because it's so hard to get him awake on Monday mornings. I'm like, well, did you like getting up for school on Monday mornings?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even in kindergarten.
Yeah,
no. That was bad.
No.
Yeah.
He wakes up at 7 o'clock on the weekends just fine because he can.
Of course he does.
He knows he can go jump on his tablet or watch TV. Yeah.
Doesn't sleep in at all. Wants to sleep in Monday through Friday.
Yep. That's just how it's going to be.
That's one thing that's clearly that I'm glad we didn't have when we were kids is fucking tablets and iPhone and like fucking phones with the internet. And,
I'm really glad about that too.
Every kid you see has got their face in it, and like the parents just give them to them to like keep them entertained, so they don't have to deal with them. And then they get upset when you try to pry it from them. Hey, come eat dinner. No.
Oh, the screaming.
Yeah.
Screaming.
Like, I didn't want to finish this or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm so glad I didn't have that. It was terrible.
Yeah.
If I ever have a kid, it will not have a cell phone and a tablet. And
no.
I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 18, and I had to buy it myself. And now I have a 10-year-old cousin that got a cell phone. It was so weird to me. I was sitting there, and he was just on his... And his phone is newer than mine and bigger than mine. I'm like, holy crap. Like, who got that for you? Do you steal that? Where'd you get that from? No. I remember my sister's beeper, and I was so jealous of her beeper.
I just thought, I was so excited when I got my first beeper, and I was over 18.
What color was it? A beeper. What color was it?
It was just black, you
just
know?
A black one?
But I remember when, beepers came out, or pagers, whatever you wanted to call it, and then they had the next line of them where we actually send a text. You could have multiple. Other than just a phone number, it would have like a little scrolling text that somebody could send you. Thought that was always pretty cool. But
yeah, I remember my dad had, because we always used my dad's pager. We would call him a lot, and it was like you always had to call his number, and then he was like, but then you have to he assigned a number to all of us kids, and so like my oldest sister, she was the firstborn, so she would just put a 1. My oldest brother was second, 2 2s, and I was the fourth in line, so I put 4 4s, and then he would know to call us back like that. I never wore a beeper. I never had the receiving end experience, so I just had the sending experience, so I don't actually really know how they worked, but it was always fun for me.
They were cool at their time.
Did you wear it on your ball cap?
No.
Was that a thing?
Yeah.
I never did that. I wore it, wore it on the old belt clip or, short pants, whatever. A little pick, and you could just kind of look down and see the number at the top, or pull it off. Oh yeah, you're important or some bullshit,
It's my prostitute.
Nobody's calling you. Nobody's paging you.
Yeah, nobody's paging me.
Make it beep every once in a while.
Now I get numbers.
Call yourself.
Now I get numbers all the time. You get numbers all the time on the cell phone. You're like, I don't know who that fucking is. I ain't calling him back.
Did you actually answer, Jason?
Answer what?
He answered.
Another thing we did was my house was always like a 24/7 construction zone the entire time I lived there. So my dad always had these big pails of mud, like sheetrocking mud. And I got really bored one day. And so I think this was in high school. I got 2 sheets of printer paper, and I put a blob of mud in the middle and then folded it into like a balloon shape and tied it. And I made it like an arsenal. I don't know where this idea came from. But... I lived in a 2-story house, so you could easily get out onto like the front, over the front door, roof area. And so I opened the window and I climbed out there. I won't even go into all the shenanigans we did on our 2-story house. Like, oh my god, we probably, none of us had broken bones growing up. All of us should have had multiple broken bones. The shit that we did. But I went out there, and my brother and sister with some neighborhood friends were walking down the street, and I just started chugging these balloons filled with mud at them, and they just went all over the street. And that mud was on the street for like a month because it doesn't rain. It doesn't rain in West Texas, so you just have to wait for the cars to come by and like slowly make it go away. It was just like big splotches of sheetrocking mud all over the street. It's stupid shit.
You do what you have to do.
You do what you have to do to have a little fun.
Yeah.
So what about you, Mike?
So for me, Niche, you mentioned being creative. Just coming up with shit, just like you said. And Jason, you said the lack of responsibility, which I totally agree with both of those. And having a daughter, I see a lot of that in her. She'll go do something. I'm like, man, she's just kind of doing stuff on her own there with whatever. And then obviously I know she doesn't have any responsibilities because I'm the one who's responsible now.
Right. Keep a roof over her head.
But I think the one thing I noticed with her and that I miss the most about being a kid, I mentioned Saturday morning cartoons earlier. You don't have to worry about cartoons now because they're on anytime you want.
Yeah.
But really the biggest thing I miss about being a kid, and I see this all the time with my daughter, depending on where we go or what we're doing, is when you're a kid, the sense of wonder and awe of everything. You know, you see something, you go into Toys R Us for the first time. You know, now I'm just like, whatever. You know, my daughter goes in, and what I used to do, you know, I was lucky enough to, when Toys R Us first came to Austin, you know, I went to the grand opening. Mm-hmm. This was back in, you know, early 80s. And, you know, you go into the, wow, you know, massive place, you know, with all these toys and everything. And then just anything you did, a theme park, you went to a fireworks show, you went to anything. You know, I went to Showbiz Pizza a lot, or Chuck E. Cheese.
Man, I used to love Showbiz Pizza.
You go to those places and you're like, you're in awe of everything, the games, the animatronics, the food, all that stuff. And as an adult, you just kind of lose that. Unless you're in some kind of insane place. Like, I still get that feeling in Vegas. You know, when you're in Vegas or at the Grand Canyon, or, you know, you're in some, you know, tropical locale, you know, something like that. But just the everyday sense of wow and awe that you get from going just to regular places, you just don't have that anymore. And I miss that most about being a kid.
That's true. That's something I wish that I still had. Like when I go to
scenic places.
Like we went to North Carolina, and we like drove up the Blue Ridge Mountain Parkway, and we went up a like mountain, and like my wife was like all like, oh wow, this is, you know, I'm just like, you know, trees.
Trees. I've seen trees before.
The only cool part was when you got up the mountain, it was so foggy. Like we took a picture where I was standing maybe 50 feet away from her, and the fog was so thick you couldn't see her. It was like completely just, we had to drive crazy. Down that. It was crazy.
No.
That'd be scary.
But like, I just don't appreciate like scenery, and like we're driving and everybody's like, oh, look how pretty, and I'm like, who cares?
Well, I mean, it's through our eyes now.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a child and you're seeing it as a child, you see it differently. I mean, we could take my daughter to some new restaurant and they have a playground in the back on the patio, and she's just like in this other world. She's so happy she can't believe it, and I'm just like, you know, well, let's sit out there. But it just, you know, that sense that you just don't have anymore about a lot of things.
That is definitely one thing that I've noticed since I was never associated with kids when I was growing up, and so I was always really awkward around them, even into my early 20s, because I'd never been around little kids. I only grew up with people my age. So as soon as my sister had started having kids, it was still really awkward in the beginning, but now that they're older and they can, like, I have a 6-year-old and 3-year-old niece and nephew, and as soon as they can start talking to you more, and they start remembering you, and they know your name, and then you start hanging out with them more, your entire view just changes. It's so weird how that happens. And I like those two. I can't say I like kids now, but I like those two. When
you see a lot of stuff that you have forgotten about being a child, you see that with them. I see that with her all the time. You know, we'll go to a museum or some type of any type of festival or something, or you know, she's looking at things just totally different than I am. You know, I'm just like, okay, are we getting through this or whatever? Or, you know, there might be some enjoyable stuff, but the way she sees it, you know, we went in San Antonio a while back, we went to Ripley's Believe It or Not. I don't know how many of those they have in various cities, but I was reluctant because they were like $20 to get in. So I'm thinking, okay, I got to be responsible now. So I got to spend the $20 for everybody to get in.
Did you get that family discount?
She doesn't have to go. Oh no,
you need a family discount for that.
I won't going to bring that up again because I got another rant later. But we're not going to bring that one up. So I'm thinking, God damn, $20 a person or whatever it ended up being. I hope this shit's good, you know. And we did it. We went in, and it actually really being a really good time. But for her, it was awesome. You know, there are certain parts of Ripley's Believe It or Not that she really enjoyed, and I thought were actually pretty cool. But just to see how she reacts to some of this stuff and how she sees it through her eyes. You know, I really miss that, you know, being an adult. And you can even try and do that, but it doesn't register like it used to.
Right.
But, you know,
because we're all jaded and
oh yeah. I mean, we
hate everything.
Yeah, and I'm the one that paid $20 a person to get in the door.
The one that just
that's always weighing on the back of my mind. Yeah.
One thing that also amazes me about little kids is the ability, and it comes with the creativity thing, but the ability to play by themselves for so long. Like, I can only do one activity for so long by myself before I'm just like, okay, well, I got to do something else. But I'll watch my niece. She's obsessed with My Little Pony. She will sit there, like, she'll try to get you involved for a second, and like, I'm talking to my sister or whatever. I'm like, I'll play with you in a minute. Then she just grabs all 7 of them in her arms and walks away, and she will play by herself forever until we go and okay, it's dinner time.
Yeah,
she'll just stand there forever.
Yeah, between toys or like art projects or coloring or something.
Dolls.
I mean, can you imagine either any one of us 3 having to do something on our own without grabbing our phone or without watching something on TV or without something? No, it wouldn't happen. I mean, it just wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, unless you have a particular project you're working on.
Yeah.
But
that's different.
For the most part, I
can't color a coloring book for more than probably 30 minutes. I get so bored of that.
It's funny. I've colored actually a lot of coloring book pages in the last 6 years. You know, but yeah,
I play with a lot of Legos and
Legos for sure.
Race cars Legos these days.
I still like playing with Legos, man. I'll build stuff all the time.
See, I wish I was that person. I really do. But apparently I'm not, because every time my nephew comes up and he's like, because that's his favorite thing. It's his birthday was 2 months ago, and he still comes up to me and was like, you can get this Lego set for my birthday. And I'm like, we got a long time to wait, kid. Plus they're also expensive, so.
They are expensive. Again, another thing you take for granted as a kid, I had 2 big old containers of Legos that I didn't realize how, at the time, you know, not as expensive as now, but, you know, we're always expensive. But, I just took that for granted, I guess. Yeah. But now I'm the one buying the Legos. so I'm going to damn play with them. But what's funny is I'll sit there with my daughter and we'll build something, and I'll be working on it, just going to town on something. She'll look at mine and go like, Daddy, yours is so much better than mine.
Oh, really?
No, it's just how I'm doing it. You're doing it your way. She just gets frustrated because she hasn't, you know, and you have to kind of be, you know, I have to kind of watch it too, because if I'm doing something, or like when we were color a lot, you know, and she's before she got better at being like in the lines and all that stuff, you know, she would always think that she wasn't doing good enough because she'd look over at somebody else's and be like, oh man, that's colored pretty good, or the Legos are pretty good and mine's not good enough. I'm like, man, it's fine for what you're doing, you know. I've done this for a long time.
Yeah, just gotta practice a little bit more. You'll get there.
So yeah, I have to be that way with her, but it's always.
How old is she again?
She's 6.
So that's the difference between me and my nephew and your daughter, is because when we play Legos together, his are always better than mine. Well, also, he likes to collaborate a lot. So he's like, help me build this. And so I start putting things places. He's like, no, that doesn't go there. And he'll pick it off. Yeah, put it somewhere else. I'm like, okay, what am I doing here?
That does happen with us.
Try to put music on. He's like, play Lego movie music. I'm like, oh, it wasn't what I was thinking, but okay, fine.
Yeah, I'll build and she'll build. She'll like mine better, and then she'll want to start just helping me with mine.
Oh,
you know, so she can contribute to mine and start working on it, which is fine.
So yours is a follower, mine is a control freak. It's fine. You gotta learn to deal with what you don't.
Everybody got their own.
Well, that's fun. I could talk about this forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things we miss as about being a kid. I mean, just the everyday stuff.
Zorro, I watched a lot of Zorro growing up. I did. I don't know why I like that show so much, but I watched a lot of Zorro.
You know, I think I can speak for Jay too. I mentioned the Saturday morning cartoons, but just afternoon cartoons after school, everything on the afternoon. Yeah, He-Man, Thundercats. I mean, everything was on after school when you got home for 2 or 3 hours.
And then there was like Knight Rider once a week.
Oh yeah, and then of course, then we even get into the shows at night. You know,
Jason knows all the shows.
Those are terrible now. If you ever go back to watch them, they're horrible. They are just awful. You know, we on one of our earlier shows, this was going way back. We mentioned how the shows we watched just don't age. Yeah, I mean not well. They don't age well. They're horrible. You know, I used to watch the hell out of Airwolf. Horrible.
I don't even know what that is.
No, it's okay. You don't need to bother with it. And A-Team, Knight Rider, all
terrible. The only show that aged well, even a little bit, was probably Miami Vice, and that was more of an adult show.
I mean, that was even for its time. It was.
I mean, that's on like some channel, or was for a while, and I started watching it. And I was like, this show's still pretty. I mean, it's still cheesy compared to how stuff's written today, but it was still like of those types of that era of shows. It was pretty good.
Well, even like the cartoons we watched that we mentioned, I've gone back to watch some of those, and they're pretty horrible.
Yeah,
there's a lot brought up about the Transformer movie when it came out. It was kind of in between Transformer seasons back in like probably 84, 85, somewhere in there. And I'd gone back to watch it just in the last few years because they had a special edition out or something, anniversary, and it was horrible. Not Michael Bay horrible, but it was pretty bad.
Not as bad as the Michael Bay movies,
but as a kid, again, that goes back to the wonder and awe as a kid of seeing something. You don't see how bad something may be. It's just all the cool stuff from that, because as a kid I have nothing but great memories of all those shows, but you try and watch it or recreate it as an adult, it is completely opposite. So I almost don't even want to watch anything. I watch something, I'm like, no, don't want to watch it again. It completely ruins.
And it's weird that they're bringing back shows from our childhood, like Voltron is being redone on Netflix. It's kind of weird to think. I haven't watched it. I just can't bring myself. Like, it's just so weird. I used to love the original Voltron. What was it really like? There's some good cartoons. Like Robotech was a really, really good cartoon.
Actually, I don't know if it's this year or next year, but Dark Crystal's coming back.
I never saw that movie. Like,
I was big into Jim Henson stuff, man. From Sesame Street to, to the Muppets.
I enjoyed Sesame. I enjoyed Muppets.
All that stuff.
I wasn't a big Muppet person. I don't know why.
I loved all that stuff.
It's before your time.
Yeah,
it was not before my time. It was very much in my time. I just couldn't get it. Well, I was more of a Looney Tunes person. I watched a lot of Looney Tunes.
I used to love Looney Tunes.
Yeah, Looney Tunes was awesome.
But I didn't, like I said, when I was like really young, even like through junior high, I don't remember watching a ton of TV. We watched Saturday mornings, but we spent most of our time outside. It's just where we wanted to be. But in high school, I started watching TV a little bit more, and I would watch more Saturday morning cartoons. But it turned into a lot of Disney Channel type stuff. Mm-hmm. Watched a lot of Disney Channel.
Well, they kind of took over the last probably 10 years.
Yeah, I was a 90s kid. I mean, that happens.
Let's see,
we were 80s.
Yeah, we watched Sesame Street and Captain Kangaroo, Electric Company, all that stuff that was on like PBS.
Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock.
I watched some Fraggle Rock. That was a good one, too.
Man.
I did like that one, too.
One of the Saturday morning cartoons was Smurfs.
Yeah. I can't recommend you go back and check them out.
That's another one.
Don't do that.
We watched the new Smurf movie recently, and I realized that I never got into Smurfs as a kid either. Like, I don't know anything about it other than they're small blue people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's just
now.
Okay. There's nothing I should know about it.
No.
Moving on.
What was the bad guy in that? Was it Gargamel?
Gargamel, yeah, and he had the
cat.
His cat. Yeah.
Smurf. Papa Smurf and Smurfette.
Can't even talk to you
One
about
Smurfette.
One Smurfette of all the Smurfs. She was a whore.
Oh, yeah. How many times was she smurfed?
Yeah.
She was smurfed.
I bet all the Smurfs there were blue everywhere except for their balls. Just a theory.
That's a whole other episode.
Just a theory right there.
That's a mini episode we can talk about later.
That dirty whore. Smurfette. All right.
Anyway.
That's all I got for that. No more Smurf jokes from me.
Well, yeah, good times as a kid, you know.
Yeah,
and for me, not really reliving it, but seeing it with my daughter now, and it kind of always reminds me when she's experiencing this stuff, and reminds me of when I used to experience stuff that way, and how I can't fathom that way now. But having her see things that way, it reminds me of that stuff all the time. I mean, it can be anything.
Yeah.
But to see how she reacts to stuff, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was a very informative topic that we just covered. Should we move on to Mike's rant corner?
Sure.
It sounds like I'm going to be the only one doing rants from now on.
I might chime in every once in a while, but I'm trying to be a happier person, okay?
Well, thank you. And this rant is real current that I'm bringing up, and it was just as of a few days ago. So I don't just always have rants. I see stuff in the news or something that a topic that I'm just like, no, I gotta say something about that. Yours is typically toll roads and stoplights. But it's true. So if you don't have anything new, that's fine.
This morning.
So I always typically have some sort of rant, so I'll always be part of this segment. My rant this week, SpaceX. Okay?
SpaceX.
All right.
What is SpaceX?
SpaceX. Elon Musk, the guy that owns Tesla, SpaceX, all that stuff.
Yes.
He fired off a rocket this week. Supposedly
Not just
one of the biggest or
the rocket.
Was it like called Rocket Heavy or something?
Falcon Heavy.
Falcon Heavy.
It fired off this week. In the process, he shoved one of his personal Tesla models into it with a dummy driving it. And some other stuff, It was actually kind of cool. But anyway.
Well, then rant away.
So this thing is going to be eventually going to be orbiting Mars and all this other bullshit. But anyway, the boosters he used to get it up there, back in the day, in our time with the space shuttle, the boosters would just fall into the fucking ocean. Right. I don't even know if they reused them, they recovered them or whatever. Nowadays, with the way they did it, and this was all shown live, the boosters actually returned.
Right.
And they had
smart boosters.
They had landing gears come out and everything, and land. It was really cool. I mean, it looked like it was like not even real. Like
did it land upright?
Yeah,
really.
It had landing gears and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like it was CGI. It looked like it was out of a movie. Like this shit ain't real.
It looked like the video was played backwards.
Yeah, and I still don't know if I'm buying it, but either way, that's what it looked so good. That's very impressive. So I give him props for that. Here's where my rant comes in, though.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Because
talk to us,
all of that shit is totally unnecessary. Okay, whatever it's taken to create all that, where he's been able to get boosters that come back and all that bullshit, there are a lot worse things in the world that need to be fixed other than that. And I say that because last year, before I got on my, kind of weight loss workout kick, I had my annual doctor visit. Anyway, they wanted me to get an MRI.
Right. Which,
where they just check everything. But to get an MRI, you got to get shoved in this little tube. And some of them are bigger than others, like most. Anyway, let's just say it was
needed a big tube.
It was an I would prefer a bigger tube because
tube.
I'm not too well in close spaces like that. So anyway, I'm in this thing and the whole time I'm thinking, okay, they can't advance this to where you don't have to be shoved into a tube for 20 minutes. They can't do something like, Star Trek where they just, do something, you're laying on a table and it's done. It's like all the advances that they've done in this space program that they do, SpaceX, I think that could be used elsewhere. And not just for MRIs, because that's what I experienced. How about cancer? How about some of these diseases?
Like Elon Musk could cure cancer.
I
smart.
have not had to go through this yet, but now that you mentioned cancer, mammogram technology, from my understanding, is so insane.
That too.
Like, how much money do you have and how far has technology come? You still have to, squish your boob into this tiny, piece of paper. That seems like it should be... It should be different.
When you witness those boosters coming back and seeing that and wow, that's really cool, and they've actually accomplished that, it just makes you think of the thousands of people that work there working on that project. Can't they focus on something else?
Not with people's priorities.
And I know there's other things involved. Pharmacy companies drug companies don't want a cure to cancer.
That's true.
And I just my rant is they need to work on other stuff that's more important.
I agree. I mean, it's super cool, and holy crap, the way that they figured out how to do that is amazing.
Well, and I'm not.
But use those brains for something.
I'm not saying eventually we need to go to outer space or do all that stuff. I agree with that. We need to eventually, but let's fix our shit on Earth before we start going to other places.
Because they can reuse those rockets now, right?
Now they can. Yeah.
They can just reuse them. That's the whole purpose behind it. So it will maybe eventually save money, even though the whole process of sending something up to space is outrageously expensive. So how much money saving are you really going to be doing? But in the large scale of things,
I think they need to fix problems on Earth before they start looking beyond.
But they know we're fucking up Earth, so they have to research living on Mars. And I'm like, I was watching Doctor Who recently. I love that show, but I knew I would get a weird look out of you two. I love Doctor Who. So I was watching an episode recently, and he went to like 2 billion years in the future, and my first thought was, please, the human race is not going to last that long. Like, that is not even... most episodes are not realistic. Time travel, going wherever to different planets and different universes and stuff. Mm-hmm. Sure. But the thing I complain about is that 2 billion years in the future, he's supposed to be on Earth, and there's no way in hell the rate we're going...
Yeah.
Is the human race going to be around?
200 is hard to fathom.
200 years or 200 billion?
200. I mean,
200 years. Me too. Me too. Everything's going to be flooded. So.
Yeah, Waterworld.
Waterworld. We're just going to the surfers are going to love it.
Oh yeah,
they're in heaven.
So I have two comments about this rant. One, I was so tired when I first saw the news story. I saw a picture, like, I was kind of trying to look for the SpaceX thing or whatever after you mentioned it the other day in passing. And I saw a picture of of the dummy sitting in a Tesla or whatever. And I was like, did he, like, launch a rocket and then, like, shoot a Tesla off? and it's like a Tesla. I didn't realize it was like, I was like, it has to be a bigger spaceship. But I just saw, like, a Tesla with, like, a planet in the background, like, it was driving out.
Well, yes. That's eventually what it became.
So it's just a Tesla now, right?
Just the car without the rocket? It's just the car
eventually, yes, because that's the payload that eventually came out of it.
The car came out, and the car is what...
Eventually,
I didn't realize that part.
No, I mean...
That's what it looked like in the picture. And I was like,
because I think that's how they do satellites. They'll...
Right.
At that point, you're just littering in space now. Now what's next? All of space is just going to become like the ocean.
If you think about it, what does the orbit of Earth look like? It's probably just...
Oh yeah,
just like satellites and junk.
Old satellites.
But a lot of that had a purpose. It had a reason for being up there. It provided useful information.
Well, this thing is supposedly headed to Mars, and it's just going to be on
car
forever. Now it's going to be on this orbit from Mars to Earth. I don't know.
A car?
I'm thinking eventually, if anyone has ever seen
a car, it's a Tesla.
It's actually one of it's Roadster. It's not even like out.
Yeah.
So, the first thing I thought about...
Space got the first model. We're not even giving
it's a hell of an ad, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Go to Mars in the new Tesla.
I do think when I
get the
watched
rocket ship after that.
I think he should have covered the rocket with, like, sponsors, like NASCAR. Because everybody watched it.
That guy does not need money from sponsors.
He doesn't need money, no.
I don't even know. Where did he get his money from? Where did it come from?
I don't know. I mean, but...
Where did he get his brains from? That's a better question. Holy Jesus.
He must.
I know Richard Branson is also doing the guy, the Virgin Airlines, the Virgin Records guy. He's also doing a manned space thing where you can pay and you can go up into space and orbit on a rocket ship or whatever.
That would be really cool. I would love to go. I am such a sci-fi nerd that I would love to go.
Yeah,
all my favorite TV shows have to do with
my only
space.
complaint about sending something. A probe or a satellite or some like a Tesla, I guess now, that far out there is that in the future you don't know what may happen. If any of our listeners have seen Star Trek: The Motion Picture, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yes,
V'ger.
It may come back one day, and let's just hope it stays out there.
It's going to be called Tessa.
Yeah, Tessa.
Tessa.
Oh, that's sad.
My other question is, what is it about small spaces kind of make you what is claustrophobia? What makes you?
I don't know. I guess I would say I'm just claustrophobic, but I mean I'm not usually in small spaces.
So when you're in there, what do you start thinking? You just start thinking, do you feel like it's going to collapse on you, or is it just
no? I think it's just the fact that you have something not really far from your face. And it's a whole tube, and for me, I actually had to get drugged to get in there.
Did you really?
And the fantastic drugs, by the way, because they lasted into the next afternoon.
Doctors could not have been more accommodating.
Great night of sleep and a great day to work the next day.
5 stars on Yelp.
Oh yeah, so
just tell them you're claustrophobic; they'll give you the good shit.
But I don't know. It's always been the case with me. If I'm ever, somewhere like that. I mean, I'm not in those situations very often, but when I am, it's like, no, I can get in a closet or get whatever. But, if you're like...
So you think it's the medical atmosphere combined with
I think medical atmospheres in general aren't good for me. I tend to get real anxious and stuff, Yeah. I can... I can get a shot, no problem. I can go give blood unless they want, an abnormal amount.
The testing part makes me nervous.
Then it tends to get a little interesting. But I don't know. For me, medical and close spaces like that just didn't jive.
I wouldn't consider.
So they have to have an advancement in that technology somehow.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself claustrophobic, but there are times when I'm like in abnormally small spaces where just the thought of being stuck, because your brain starts when it's hard to move, your brain just starts going and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be stuck here forever, I'm gonna die, and this is like dehydration and starvation just kind of go real fast through your head. So back to being kids, back to that subject. One thing we used to do is we all had like twin size beds growing up, so 2-story, we would throw them down to the bottom story. We throw our mattresses. I left that part out. We throw our mattresses down to the bottom story, and we just play with our mattresses downstairs. And we started doing this one thing one time where there were sandwiches. So we'd have a mattress person, mattress person, mattress person. And I was like the second from the bottom, and I got so insanely claustrophobic. It's just like you feel like you can't escape and that you're going to die there. Yeah. It's such a weird feeling.
Well, something's triggered inside. I mean, you can't control it.
I just kind of out a little bit.
The feeling of it, I guess,
it's not like something from like your childhood, some trauma or something. It's just something like you just.
And like I said, it doesn't happen a lot, and I really have to be in a really tiny space and feel like I can't move my arms. Is mainly when it happens. If I can't move my arms,
I mean, I could be standing outside the room going, "Dude, I'm about to take me a nice 20-30 minute nap. What the hell, man?
But
this
as soon
is great."
As you get in there,
but as soon as I get in, I'm like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
I can't relax for shit."
Yeah.
But let's fix that.
We would also stack 2 mattresses.
Come on, Elon. Let's fix that.
We would also stack 2 mattresses right by our door because we had a landing that we could jump off of, and we'd go from the landing from the second floor and just jump down onto these 2 mattresses. And I could never get the technique down. I would always lock my knees, even though I would intentionally tried not to, and it would always just be like this real rough landing. I was like, ugh.
Well, they always say that, right? Get relaxed. Like if you're in an imminent car crash, just relax your body. Like, okay, right, I'm going to relax my body. Sure. Right,
easy.
Fine.
Easy.
That's why drunk people survive all these crashes because they're relaxed the whole damn time.
Yeah.
But any normal person's not going to do that. Yeah. They see somebody come behind, they're going to fucking tense up, hit the brake, all that stuff.
I just want to apologize. My parents are not listening to this.
I was just like...
But I just want to apologize to my parents for all the shit we did as kids. I have apologized to them before and they just laugh. But I don't think they realize. Because they're just like, it's over and done with. I'm like, no. I realize now as an adult. We did we used to have wheelchair races down the middle of the road. And we got the cops call us multiple times.
Sounds like your neighbors were assholes.
Well, that was true. And we also were popping black cats in the middle of the street at like 2:00, not even close to July 4th. The cops called on us that time too.
That one might be on you.
That was a little bit on us.
As an adult, you realize, I don't have pets, but you realize that what that does to dogs. And also to sleep.
Well, also, people have to work. Come on. No, I was just like, it's a weekend. It's like Saturday night. We have some extra black cats. It's September or something. I don't know. Anyway, I had fun as a kid. I miss being a kid.
That's my rant. So we all miss being a kid, and
SpaceX
I wish they would focus on other technologies other than returning
be like
rockets.
EarthX.
Yeah.
And make bigger MRI machines.
Bigger MRI machines, please, for Mike. Make them another, foot wider. That's all I need. Just not much.
Just the face piece part needs to be further away.
Just make the tube bigger. Just make it bigger. That's
Fair enough.
And we're not.
Fair enough.
You're not a kid anymore. So
and figure out mammogram machines.
Well,
stop squishing ladies' boobs.
Stop smashing boobs.
Stop smashing boobs. It's only appropriate every once in a while.
So there you go. So that's it. So before we go, I want to make
You said stop smashing boobs. It just made me think of the stupidest fuck. I don't, like hip hop music. Like I come up with some of the stupidest phrases in there. This is such a random thing, but Ray J the guy that was in the Kim Kardashian sex tape or whatever was on some reality show, and he was talking about like this chick he was into, and she slept with a friend of his, and he was all like, I couldn't get with that because she smashed the homie. And I was like,
what does that mean?
She slept with his friend. She smashed the homie.
Oh my God.
And I was, just something stupid that brought up.
Just a random memory.
Just stupid. Like, I feel like the English language is getting butchered.
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
they smashed the English language
anymore just because the way you speak is so completely off. That
I mean, they don't even teach cursive anymore in school.
No, you don't have to anymore.
It's crazy.
I don't use cursive, but it still makes me sad that they don't teach it.
Yeah.
Just because it's what I grew up on.
I tried to write in cursive like after I found that out, and it's hard because nobody ever does it anymore.
No.
I can still do it. I've just never liked my handwriting.
I have to kind of go back and practice.
I can sign my name, and that's about it. And even that don't even really look like my name.
Oh yeah, I sign my name in cursive.
But that's it. I don't write for shit anymore.
Of course you do.
Don't read, don't write.
Get that rock star signature. Yeah.
What's funny I noticed about this episode, other than maybe our rant and some earlier, is our actual topic. About what we miss about being a kid. We didn't actually go off topic.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
We didn't got off topic, so we apologize.
Well done.
I think that's
next time.
Or bad job us. I don't know.
That was very strange. The whole time we're talking
because
about
it's such an interesting topic.
It is actually.
I feel like the rant got us off. We got off rant.
I guess I did say everybody misses being a kid, but that's probably not true. I know there are some people that had unfortunate.
I mean, if people think back about really what it was meaning to be a kid, they have to miss being a kid. About being a kid. I mean, unless they had a really bad childhood or something. God forbid that. But if they did, most people, if they're honest.
If you had a decent childhood, then
I mean, there's people I know people that had a really rough childhood, and they still talk fondly about a lot of their childhood. And
I mean, just the stuff, just how it is as a kid. You can't.
It's hard to see the bad things. If you had a decent childhood, it's hard to remember the bad things, or at least for me.
Well, also too, I had a good childhood. You also take for granted, kids that don't have a good childhood. Mm-hmm. Or kids that may, my parents didn't get divorced till well after we had gotten older, but you take for granted, kids that had to be raised by separate parents. Or in two different houses, or other family members and
Custody,
stuff, stepbrothers
every
and
other
sisters.
weekend and holidays.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have to deal with that. I mean,
not until your 30s.
Well, not till I was older. I still don't know where I'm going for the holidays every year, but still, at least I didn't have to deal with that when I was a kid.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's a big thing. That's huge. That's huge.
You still see that a lot with my daughter. She's got it's just more common now, parents and separations,
it happens.
divorces.
It happens.
50%. I think it's got to be more.
It's got to be 50%. Well, more than that.
Yeah.
They say 50%. What 50% divorce? I mean, that's divorces. That's the ones that have actually gone through it. There's some that are separated or may just may never get divorced, but they don't live together. They're not. I mean, it's way up there. Yes.
All right. Well, that was a good episode.
I enjoyed that.
Zipped right along.
I think that was a fun welcome back episode for me.
Pretty good.
I enjoyed being back.
A little jaunt.
Yeah, that was good.
Stayed on topic. Got off rant.
Got off rant. Yeah, new title.
That's the new title of our show.
New title of the show.
Got off
rant.
Got off Mike's rant. Mike's mad, please. We'll figure out a name for that later.
Nice having you back, Nish. I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad I'm back.
And we got any?
Hopefully, I won't leave for a very long time.
Anything to add? But did you smash any homies or anything?
I did not smash any homies.
That's
while I was
good.
gone. No.
Have you gotten a mammogram in a while?
No, I'm only 30. It's not required.
When is that?
Well, what are you complaining about?
No, because I hear that it's not. No, I said that. I said that. Please, I hear that it's not a pleasant process.
No, I thought you got it done.
I thought you were getting them on a yearly basis. I was like,
I'm sitting here jumping on your bandwagon saying, Elon, come on, fix this machine.
Hold on. While cancer runs in my family, breast cancer does not really. So I don't have to do I think it's 50. You have to start doing it. But I have had friends who breast cancer does run in their family, and they have to start getting them in 20.
Well, I'd recommend you get that
30,
done next week. I mean, you want to stay ahead of that. You really do.
That's what the personal checks. I just got to fill my own boobs up.
Well, that works too.
Yeah.
All right.
It's an important thing to do, ladies.
Yes, ladies, check your boobs.
Weekly. Is that right? Weekly, monthly?
Daily.
Okay, daily. Yeah, that's fine.
Have your partner check your boobs.
Okay.
This is turning into a medical advertisement. All right.
And if you don't have a partner, call God Off Topic. We can help.
We'd be glad to.
All right. Peace.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Hopefully we didn't offend.
But we probably did. Follow us on Facebook.
And Instagram.
This was
God Off Topic.
Anal
Boobs.
jokes.